It is time. The Stage 2 playoffs. $500,000 up for grabs. We're kicking it off. It's E6, eUnited. Jack, how you doing, buddy?
I am excited. The time is finally here. 2 weekends left in the CWL season. $2 million up for grabs. It starts here with $500,000, and then we all know all these teams participating this weekend will be at the CWL Championships in just a couple short weeks in Orlando, Florida.
And this first matchup, what a story we have here. You know, Enigma6, a team that had to reverse sweep FaZe, go 6-0 on Sunday to even have a chance, versus a team in eUnited that cruised. Clayster, new to the team, he led what overall? A respawn KD, fourth in S&D KD in his week. He was utterly dominant. This matchup's going to be great.
Oh, it most certainly is. These guys have been warming up at the venue for the last couple hours. Every single team is here and preparing. What a day of matches we have to come. Already fans storming on through the door. Will be a packed house all weekend. First off, there's a look at eUnited. Their fresh white jerseys ready to go. We're already into it. Game number 1 underway. It's Scorch Hardpoint. We're watching Clayster off the break.
Well, if you talk about Enigma6 coming into Scorch, they won 100% of their matches in Stage 2. If you're eUnited, your only hardpoint loss in your week, it was Scorch.
And you can see right there, Clayster expecting the boys of Enigma6 to flood him, to push towards his side. Falls back, basically baits Royalty right on in, and that'll leave Royalty all by himself now with his hardpoint as he's about to get cut down.
Well, how good was Royalty in their week, right? He was an absolute stud, man.
Yep.
1.16 respawn KD, led the team. He was absolutely electric. You think he can keep that up this weekend?
He's going to have to be quite simple. There's no longer, you know, a bottom 2 teams in this. Every single team is capable of beating their opponent. Yes, there are underdogs, but you need players like Royalty to step up. You know, Splice won Stage 1 because of the performance from Zero. He was a big part of it. Royalty needs a weekend just like that. He
needs to go big, and maybe General can bring back that dominance we saw from him throughout most of the year. He wasn't quite as, I guess, much of an MVP-type candidate in their most recent week, but right now it is Silly and eUnited set up to continue holding Turbine. Let's see if Enigma6 can break.
We saw Proto for a second try to sprint right to that white block, get behind cover, couldn't make it in time. eUnited did go ahead and pinch on through for the break, but just as easy as eUnited take control, Enigma6 do it right back. 4 straight kills, as now everyone will get spawned out from the eUnited lineup.
General is on a 3 streak right now. We'll see if that can continue for him, as he's only tried, what, 1 time or almost 2.5 minutes into this game. 20 seconds still to work with on Turbine. You see spawning right now, eUnited, they're coming out of rocks, they're coming out of hangar, trying to take one more crack at this, but you gotta be careful. Can we hop over to General real quick? He's gonna have a big one-on-one gunfight in the back. Let's see if he can spot Clayster. He's set up in that close corner. Good positioning from Clay, gets the kill.
Clayster plays that off angle there, catches him off guard. He's got more pressure coming. Cade, you see, now weakened. Does clean up that one, but Proto's there for the help. Enigma6 should get the spawns. You'll see Arsity spawn all the way out at bottom drill. E6 on rotation, get the kills they need, and now their lead's up to 45 seconds.
This is some fantastic stuff from Enigma6, rallying from Turbine into hangar. Proto now back in on the action. He's got the Erad in hand, tags one, wants to chase the kill out front, and he's able to do so.
How many times have we seen teams run away with this map when they do successfully rotate, as you mentioned, from Turbine to hangar?
It's hard.
This, instead of, you know, getting 60 or, you know, 40 of the 60 seconds on Turbine, then only getting 20 of the 60 on hangar because you've got to fight for spawns the whole time.
Exactly.
You've now got Enigma6 getting the majority of Turbine time, now getting the majority of hangar time, and it's why they've got themselves a lead.
Reminds you of something like maybe Cathedral to Broken if you're talking about retaliation. It's usually, if you get a lot of time on one, typically the other team's getting the points on the second.
Yep.
Not the case right now, as Enigma6 continues to rock and roll.
So this is the main setup you typically see teams go for on a break. Some nice shots in from Clayster as he snaps on the second, and already the crowd getting into it. This man was going off in his week in Stage 2. Hasn't stopped at all. The first player in the lobby to hit 10 kills, but you see, you push middle map, you send a player down towards this bottom deck side here, and you pinch on in for the break. Clayster now 11-7 as eUnited are back in control. The 50-second lead for E6 is down to just 20.
And Clay, a big catalyst in that. Think about how good he was in their week, Jack. A 1.28 respawn KD, a 1.29 in search and destroy. He was doing literally everything, pal.
And look, you're seeing the exact same setup now from Enigma6, and it works perfectly. They flood 2 through middle, they wind up picking up the pinch. It forces the player in drill to pick a side. He either falls back or has to push into 2 enemies of Enigma6. Not going to work. Another clean break there, and now look, eUnited do it right back. These teams are so well practiced for this weekend. Absolutely love to see it.
As Silly secures a kill there. I think he was one of the standout performers for us too a couple weeks back. His E-Rad was absolutely exceptional, especially at range, and he's got to deal with pressure now. You see that accuracy here as players flying out of observation deck. He tries to push in through window, but will fall. But that big lead for Enigma6, it's gone away.
This is why teams were so excited to see these guys play. So evenly matched. You can see how they stack up. Clayster trying to stay active on this hill. 15 and 9. Almost a 1.5 KD already off the break of this game. He's calling on the Scarab. He's got the second most time on his team. And because of it, eUnited have taken back the lead.
I'll tell you what, Clay's got the fans behind him. You can hear them getting loud basically every time he picks up a kill. You know what he's been going through with getting dropped from phase, getting on a new roster. A win this weekend would be so, so sweet.
Most certainly now, as eUnited will get forced on out of that hill. E6 will be the first team set up for Turbine. They can't push too far out. Last thing they want is a split spawn from eUnited. Looks like they've got a good idea of how far exactly they can push on up. As now it will be 113 to 113. The setup for Turbine coming on in for both teams.
And like you said, yeah, they layer the map a bit, but they make sure they can't get spawned behind. But now, if you take a look at the minimap, those two red arrows, 1 and 3, that's Clayster and Pristini, are going to get ready to try and do a two-man hit towards the bottom side of Turbine. They're trying to pick up kills, but Cade still holding strong, but it's Clayster with a big two-piece. It's traded out, but Proto is now going to have multiple players to deal with. He goes vertical, trying to win the first, losing him for a moment, but still comes up with it. But the final man standing is going to be Silly, Arcides in the hardpoint.
And this is what you love to see right now. No player really costing their team, right? Yes, maybe you have a couple players negative, but you know they're baiting for their squad. They're the first one surging on in, everyone involved in the objective. And again, it's 131 to 131, another lead change now, as it just so happens that eUnited are in control, but if the pace of this game stays the same, it's going to be E6 breaking on in at any moment.
Well, can we get over to Pristini right now? Here he is. He's going to be the first man to try an entry.
Nope.
Not going to get it done as Proto does pick it up. Clay trying to trade these out. The pacing maybe a little bit off with him and Pristini as they were lining up the break.
This is the second or third time now Clayster has done this. Watch, he's waiting for his teammate Pristini to push on up. Unfortunately, does get pushed there by Royalty, but either way, he had the right idea. Stay alive, play your life, wait for help. If he goes in there and gets a kill and then gets traded, it does nothing for his team.
Well, there's Pristini with the pick. This is their chance, but Proto, General Cade, suddenly everybody on Enigma6 on the kill feed, and we're about to have another lead change. Silly playing a little bit slow right now because he's 125 off those Trinity rockets. He actually has one player behind him on Enigma6. He could get pinched at any moment. Getting these streaks could prove so crucial. First gunfight wins it. Now 25 off the Trinity, wrapping back out to Rocks, trying to push towards these key and crucial streaks. Shots a little high.
Whiffs the shots onto Proto. Enigma6 so far had eUnited's number on this top hanger hill. You saw, though, Silly drew so much attention towards back Rocks, it let his teammates flood to that top hall to get that break. So scrap time will go to eUnited. They'll bring it back within 5. This is the exact same setup we saw the first rotation, Maven, where you had Enigma6 set up. They had pressure middle map, but eUnited are going for what worked last time. It's a pressure through middle as they go and pinch from deck.
Well, let's watch from Royalty's POV as they try to deal with it up high. Clayster and Pristini off the wall run. Able to find a couple. Pristini still going, but will be taken out. 3 kills for Enigma6. Make it the 4th will drop. Proto making plays. 3 of those kills come from him, and he's got Camo to work with. Scarab out, tags up too. This man making plays right now.
You're an Enigma6 fan. It's great to see Proto holding his own with some of these submachine gun players on eUnited. That's 4 now dead. E6 looking to take command of this game. They have a combined 7 streak between 3 of their players. They're still set up and ready to rotate towards middle map when the new hill pops.
Nice kill by Cade. His teammates picking him up as well. A clean 4-man wipe again for eUnited. That's what, 3 times in a row? Yeah. We've seen the entire side wiped out.
Slaying was pretty much even this whole game, Maven. When Enigma6 started this comeback, when they were down as they rotated a hanger to this point, they're now outslaying by 11 kills. Camo now ready as well for E6.
Proto, he dropped just a kill off of streaks there too. Very close to the Trinity, but can't get it. But Enigma6 has opened up a large lead.
Here comes Camo.
Camo in. Proto trying to get done. He's getting tagged up. He will get dropped. Gets nothing from it. That wall run
really does nothing with it, but Royalty's there to save the day. And you see how he spins. This man plays on 8-8 sensitivity, almost 3 times the speed of our stage 1 MVP Zero, who plays on 3-3.
Pristini still has that camo to work with, Jack. eUnited trying to climb back into this, but they don't have the spawns. They're popping in hangar. They're going to have to fight across, try to flip these as we get set up for Turbine. All the pressure on them now to make a play. Silly, first man in. Clayster trying to pick that 3 down. They got to push through. Make sure they flip these spawns out. Take a look. Top right of the map. All the hangar players coming in now from Enigma6. That was beautiful from eUnited.
One thing I do want to point out, Clayster has quieted down just a little bit. They need him to turn up for these final couple hills. The man was positive 7-8 earlier on, now just +2. Pristini holding his own, shuts down Proto there, gets the second. Camo still ready, and remember, Proto already used the active camo at top middle hill. Pristini's locking down Warehouse. We have ourselves a 20-second game.
Here we go. Let's see if they can hold Turbine. Pristini's got bridge, but everyone's going to be pushing through the bottom side of the map for now. He's got to transition over. He gets eyes on General. Shots come from a second. He's enough to deal with the first and get away with his life. The assist goes to Clayster. Clayster gets 3 and pops reactive. The comeback alive and well for eUnited. We're about to see another lead change.
Another lead change now comes in. eUnited, I don't think they can win off this hard point. Enigma6 surging on through. Arseny's in the close angle. There's 2. He's got help from Clayster, though. The FTL jump. Oh, General almost did the dirty, but it's not enough. 230 to 224. Would it only be right, David, if Enigma6 win on the hill that's gotten them this far in this game?
It certainly would. And I saw one Trinity rocket available. Who actually picked that up? Was it Pristini?
Oh, no.
Pristini, yes.
Oh, no.
He's got the Trinity rocket to go. Trying to break in the hangar with the Scarab, but Enigma6 has the hold for now. And the scary thing is that Trinity doesn't do you a whole lot on this particular hard point, right? It's not going to be able to open up something for you.
I'm surprised they're flooding with just 2 of them. They've got to wait for their teammates right there. They have time to set up as 4, pinch from middle map, getting a little bit ahead of themselves. They'll have one final opportunity, 243 to 238.
Pristini's got a camo. He's going to have to use it. Can we get to his POV? He's going to be the one that needs to make a play. Camo out, trying to get into at least contest. They only need 5 more points. First kill goes his way. Can't finish the second. There's nobody to follow up. You've just thrown this away, eUnited. It's going to be a win for E6.
E6 dominate hangar all game, but I have to be completely honest, Maven, and I know our analysts, I'm sure, will bring this up. eUnited just threw that away. They tunnel visioned so hard on getting 7 points. 3 times they pushed with only 2 of them alive.
Well, what's interesting, too, is I thought the biggest play of the game was going to be at Bridge. When they all spawned up hangar, they killed 3, pushed through and flipped. I was like, oh, eUnited, or sorry, eUnited just won the game. But then, yeah, just bonehead plays on the stretch. You have to at least give yourself one good 4-on-4 opportunity to break. You can't just go man by man like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's just map 1 of many this weekend at the Stage 2 playoffs. 7 seconds with, 20 lead changes in the hard point.
Yeah, it was nuts.
I look over at our analyst desk because that game's ending. First off, insanity, but if I'm an eUnited, if I'm Burns right now and I'm here for eUnited as their general manager, I'm watching these games happen. I'm sitting the boys down after this series and watching back the end of that hard point because that was just bad. I mean, you could see that right away. They tunnel visioned so hard. They had more than enough time to set up, get all 4 players up, push 2 through middle, camo through that top bridge, and break that hard point.
You had 100% win rate for Enigma6 on that particular map. They get business done. We go to the next one. Both of these teams won all of their breakout search and destroys in their particular group. But, buddy, I'll tell you what, Royalty is going to be the guy to watch. He actually averaged 1.02 kills per round, which was the highest of every single player at Stage 2. He was nuts, man. Overall KD of a 1.48 in search and destroy. He was wild in their week.
I think he was 4th overall, just behind the 3 members of Optic from their week in total Stage 2 stats. I mean, the man's insane. He's just going to be up in their face at all times. Think of that. Every round of S&D, he averaged over 1 kill. So a round starts, Royalty was getting a kill, no matter what the scenario was. Ridiculous, ridiculous stuff. Either way, E6 remained perfect on Scorch Hardpoint. They win map 1. And now they can push on into Search and Destroy. And when you talk about key players, Proto, he had a great first game, but he's got to do it even more here in S&D.
Well, that's what's interesting. One of the, breakout players or stellar players from Stage 1 that we talked about for Search was Proto. He was one of the most effective at getting first bloods. His KD was there as well. You take a look at Stage 2, he averaged like a 0.54. He was abysmal. It was almost like a light was switched. And I guess when you have Royalty come into it, that can certainly mix things up. But before we get to Game 2, Jack, break down this scoreboard for me.
Look at the Hangar Hill. The 50-second difference is what winds up changing things in favor of E6. The time that eUnited got in the majority of that hill was the scrap time, and Enigma6, they were happy to give that up so they could rotate towards drill first, where they have a 12-second advantage there. Clayster slowed down for a little bit in the middle of that map, but man, there's the general we didn't see as often in the stage 2 regular matches they played. The guy had a more quiet weekend. That's more stage 1 general right there, the 1.2 plus KD.
Yeah, and we know he's capable of it, right?
Absolutely.
You know, before Royalty joined this team, there was so much pressure on General to be a superstar pretty much at all times. And more often than not, the man was up to the task. Has some of that pressure been relieved now with Royalty? Hard to argue, it hasn't. But you see a little bit of vintage General there. But here we go, game 2. It's a 1-0 advantage in the series for Enigma6. Can eUnited fight back and tie this up?
Here we go, eUnited. Losing game 1 by just 7 seconds. Wondering if we see some players take some pages out of Colchan's book on this map after we saw some crazy plays from him yesterday in the LCQ.
Clayster, opportunity for first blood. He gets it, but immediately traded up by General. Good buddy system there from Enigma6. Silly, ready, beautiful hover over the top. Maybe over peaks a little bit wide there, and quickly does become a 2 versus 2. Cade has the pistol. Going up against the K-bar, but as Pristini finds it, he's going to have to somehow win a 1 versus 2 with pistol in hand.
Pristini plays that round so beautifully. He winds up planting that bomb and plays mind games with his opponents. They wind up hitting such a heavy flank. Instead of Pristini, you know, playing at that back garage, the second he hears the call out that the final 2 players are pushing from Dozer, he rotates towards the mid-spiral. They're not expecting him to be there. He shoots the first player in the side, gets the assist on the second one to clean him on up. Nice play by him to give eUnited that first round victory.
All right, well, let's take a look at the offense now from Enigma6. We talked a lot about Proto coming into this one. He can be such a difference maker in search and destroy, and they need that player in a big way here if they want to take a 2-0 advantage. Proto in loading, about to get pushed, sees the pressure come, does get the first. Can his teammate clean up the next? Yes, that's K doing it, but back and forth we go, quickly into a 2v2 once again.
These are these rounds that we talk about where they can go either way, but it might define the entire map in S&D. General going so far from his teammate. Thankfully, the bomb planter does get out with his life for a second. They've spotted both. They know they're on this side. And it looks like they're just trying to bait out this defuse. Yeah, this is such a smart play. Look at this. Silly's holding the front door. You got a bomb you got to worry about, Enigma6.
Oh, I mean, he gets so much information. He peeks out that door. He knows he has one in the corner that just planted. He knows Clayster's all the way back by cell block. Hop the bomb. Beautifully done.
And he knows that General backs on up to try to gain back his health. In that time, slides to engage the opponent, gets the call out that he's close to defusing. What a play right there from Silly. 2-0 round count lead now for eUnited.
On board with Silly now. We'll see what he can muster up in this round. NV4 in hand. He was phenomenal in search in particular. Silly had a 1.46 KD in search.
See, these are the cheeky spots I love. These are the cheeky spots I love. You saw Pristini spotting from top spiral. Wow, gets out with his life. Wondering if the rear guard saved him there, as now everyone from Enigma6, they're rotating towards back garage, and they're going to set up for a 4v4 retake. Woo!
Some crispy shots there by Clay as he connects. 4v3 now. Advantage to eUnited. Can Royalty turn the tides back into their favor? 2 are tagged up. You saw 1 weak outside a window. General's got his health back, but his teammate backs up behind the Scarab. Only 20 seconds remaining now.
Wow, and look at how scared they are of their flank. There's only 18 seconds left. They've got to make a move. At some point, you've got to just go. So little time left. Their hand's been forced. They've got to go on through. Royalty does get 2. Do they have someone for the defuse, though? Oh,
I think he got it. I think he got it.
What? How? How do you lose that round, eUnited? Oh!
He got it. I'll tell you what, there are very few players that could make the play Royalty just did. We talked about that 8-8 sensitivity, the snap he just did to find both kills. Woo! Oh, he actually tagged him up for General. I thought Royalty finished both.
If this was what this whole weekend's gonna be like, I'm gonna need help from something. I don't know what, but my body can't take this. This is map 2.
First round on the board now for Enigma6.
Ow! There was 15 seconds on the clock with 4 people alive.
So Royalty killed 2, and then General got the one in the pocket. So that was what, all 3 players basically dropped in those final couple of seconds.
Jeez.
Insane, man.
Well, Pristini's going to be a dead man walking here soon. He's got players pushing from all different areas. Thankfully, Silly's at least able to get the trade 2-on-2, and this round should end quickly now as both players try to surge on through.
But it's Royalty in a 1 versus 1. Now against Silly. He just been clutching the previous round. Can he do it again? Both of these guys had the highest search and destroy KD for their teams during stage 2. Not many people you'd rather have in this situation. Royalty spotted him.
Wow. Look at Royalty right there. He knows how nice a play that was. I guess Silly decided not to move after he got those 2 kills, and it doesn't get much easier than that for Royalty.
2 clutch rounds for Enigma6, 2 clutch rounds for Royalty. Let's see if eUnited can now answer back after giving up back-to-back rounds. It's going to be their turn on offense. Let's see what the plan of attack is, Jack.
We know Clayster so far has been the designated watch the flank / middle map pinch player for eUnited. Cade and crew, they've been giving up this site. Now it looks like they'll at least try to play a little bit more aggressively on it, and I love this pocket right here. Will this even get checked? I doubt it from the side of eUnited. Yeah, Cade's ready. First blood on our cities. Thankfully, Pristini's there for the trade.
Enigma6, Proto and Royalty. Trying to go big, down a man. Royalty is only 200 off Trinity Rocket, so he's going to be looking for kills late in the round. They lose regardless as Proto gets whipped on by Pristini. Nice shots, though, downrange. He's only 50 off the Trinity. He will fall. That'd be one you feel a little bit better about losing if you at least were able to pick up those streaks. May have happened if Proto didn't get 360 World Star.
Wow. That was definitely something right there, that kill. So we'll go into round 6. eUnited recovering after giving up 2 rounds in a row. On offense now is Enigma6. Proto, we talk about how he struggled at S&D in the regular stage matches. Seems like that's brought on over into the playoffs so far with him at 2 and 5.
I wonder what's changed that he fell off so much between stage 1 and 2. It's got to be something, you think, with the roster addition, but Royalty's doing his job. He's 7 and 3. Now only 2 players left, similar to what we saw last round. Royalty and Proto in a 2 versus 3. Royalty going big. He's got reactive now to work with, and he's given them a chance in this round. Arcides, I believe, just got vision of 1 mid-map.
Royalty's definitely keeping up that 1 kill per round ratio that he had back in stage 2.
He's outdoing even himself right now.
Yep. Double rotation between these 2 teams. Does Royalty check his back? It appears so, but Arcides guns him there with the NV4. And now Proto's left by himself. He's going to fly at 2 ARs. You're going to lose that battle every single time. Every single time.
Maybe he didn't realize both were there, but yeah, there was... You try that 1,000 times.
Look at this.
You're never doing anything in that circumstance.
Playing duck hunt right there. Yeah, that was... He definitely did not.
It's like a teammate said.
He didn't go to Uncle Jack's S&D school.
It's like a teammate said, let's just get to the next round.
Yeah, right?
Fly at him.
You're not going to win this. 4-2 now for eUnited. Silly at 6 and 4. He's got his FTL jump ready to go if he needs to use it this round.
Let's see if someone can break the mold. It's been 2 in a row for eUnited, 2 in a row for Enigma6, now back-to-back for eUnited. Can somebody break this streak? Royalty. Clay, he has been dominating mid-map. Royalty can't answer it back as Arcides just beams him as he hits the edge. This should be the 5th round for eUnited.
And here's the thing. Arcides dies the last round on offense to a player in that exact position. This time it's the first thing he checks, and of course he's going to get the kill, but it's a different player in both scenarios. E6 have to communicate that they've already used that spot.
We've seen some interesting angles on the opposite sides of these stairwells in the past couple of matches. Clay, nice grenade, gets him weak. Should be able to finish the kills here. He knows there's one more. Surprise.
Come on. It's Clayster. What are you trying to do right there?
The man's a beast.
But back to the point I was bringing up, Maven, is that spot, it's going to work once, and then they're going to know about it, right? If you've already used it, you need to tell your teammate. But 2, you saw Clayster hold that kind of, sitting on the edge of that truck, a nice cheeky spot. Clayster, I want to check next time if we do go on another defensive round or offensive round for eUnited. I highly doubt he's going to use that again. I highly doubt it because they're going to know to check that.
It's true. Reactive armor is available. Scarab as well. Just taking a look at the splits. We're on with Royalty's POV. Both teams to opposite sides. This should be a free plant to Enigma6 and maybe a starting point for a comeback in this game.
Ooh, so typically, you'd see teams try to push out the garage and plant for the other side and basically flip the map. Now they'll still plant for this close dozer side. Gonna be up to Royalty to wait for the call.
Why?
Why would you ever do that?
I mean, you're holding one of the stronger covers in the game. Silly, almost with some madness there to pick up 3, but that will get it done. eUnited, 2 left for the defuse, and they have tied up our series at 1 apiece.
All right, 1-1. eUnited and S&D look scary as ever. They look well composed with some great strats on that map.
I love we both just, why? That's like one of the better covers, especially to deal with people coming in the cave. Yeah. He's like, no, I don't need it. I'm going to surprise him.
Yeah, I'll sprint right at him. No weapon ready to go either way. That's a game win for eUnited, and now we've got a series on our hands, tied up 1-1 as we head into Uplink. This now, I do not know how to call the rest of this. I don't.
No, and it's interesting. If this goes to a Game 5, I mentioned that Game 1 hardpoint, that Scorch was the only one that eUnited had lost. They were so dominant. Throwback Search is the only search they lost from their week as well. So maybe a couple rough maps for this eUnited team. But so far, it's just been a battle. This has been fun, man. But I'll tell you what, it's Uplink. Up next. We'll be back in just a couple short minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's our first G Fuel Key Player matchup of the weekend, not our final one, between Clayster and Royalty. Here are some major stats between these two superstars from what we saw in Stage 2. We talked about their S&D prowess. We saw it from both players on that map. Unfortunately for Royalty, though, his team dropped that one 6-2 on that search and destroy on breakout. But now we're heading to Uplink. Clayster leads his team with that 1.24 Uplink KD. Both of these squads strong across all 3 game modes. We'll see who can take the swing map in this best of 5. This has been your G Fuel Key Player matchup.
We are back. Series tied at 1 apiece. We're heading to pre-synced Uplink, and kind of an interesting stat between these two teams, and sort of tells the story of how they got here. You take a look at Enigma6, their best game mode at 66% win rate was Uplink. It's a 66 win rate for the other side. For eUnited, it is their worst game mode. So it just shows kind of how much eUnited has dominated and how Enigma6 kind of really had to fight their way to get here.
Remember, Enigma6 back in stage 1 only lost, what, 1 Uplink throughout the entire stage? It was their best game mode. We'll see if that transfers over now. They're going to need it, as eUnited have got the momentum in this series. Taking that search and destroy with ease was not close like that first hard point. I was joking with the analysts. That first hard point, it was basically like, you know, eUnited lost. Or sorry, Enigma6 lost, and then because of how eUnited played, Enigma6 won in that final push. They got lucky to take that first map, especially with how it all played out in the end. Thankfully for them, it is 1-1 heading into game 3.
I'm not sure who to take in this one.
Oh, neither am I.
My gut kind of tells me eUnited, just because I think Enigma6 hasn't been as dominant in Uplink since the roster change went down, but this should be a fight if our first 2 games are any indication of how this series is going to continue to go. Proto tries to get the drone forward, not able to do it. That's all 4 dead now for Enigma6. Arcitys trying to push the drone quickly.
So play styles you'll see, especially from E6, they are very objective focused. You will see them just grab that drone, toss it, whatever one they can get. They might not have the map positioning they want. They aren't really a rally focused team unless they know they have an absolute free dunk to go on through. Oh. There's a botched 1-point play. It automatically resets as it goes outside the map.
I like the play though. You know, they push out towards construction, immediately wrap that back to kind of catch that transition, catch them off guard from Enigma6. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out when you miss an easy 1-point toss.
But look, here's an example. Intercepted right there. But again, look at what Enigma6 do. This second that they are up and in lobby, they're grabbing the drone, they're moving it forward. They're not looking to throw it down and try to slay. They just try to go for a 1, get a point on the board, and start to build their lead.
Let's see if the first point should come here. eUnited now has 3 down. Cade, the last man on defense. They just need to pick him up. Here we go. Clay for the dunk. The body block there does not matter. It's a fist to Proto's face.
There's the dunk from Clayster. He'll fall on back, get in position to keep this rally going, but here's the issue. They have no presence inside lobby. 2 players make it 3 there for Enigma6. I mean, it's great you have base control, but thankfully Pristini's there to dig you out of that hole. As now it's time for the brother duo to go for a second dunk.
Yep, give him the dunk. He's getting so close to streaks. The alley-oop is through. 50 now off the Trinity Rockets. 4-0 advantage for eUnited. We'll see if Arcitys can get fully streaked out here early in the first half.
See Clayster trying to pre-fire that door. Won't connect with any shots. 2 people peeking. Arcitys now dead. General with the drone, and now it's Enigma6's turn to go on the offensive. Spawn kill Pristini. Second player there. There's the 8 sensitivity as he just rips him in 2. The dunk from E6. They're on the board.
Royalty in general just mowed through, I think, 6 players together on the way to that dunk. Absolutely insane stuff. And that 2-piece from Royalty, few in the business that can actually get that done. Cade wants to tie it up. The pass, the dish across. Hasn't actually gotten through. Has to take the 1-pointer.
I think he got body blocked.
He did.
I think he got body blocked. So in an Infinite Warfare, if there is a player in the portal from the enemy team as you go to approach it with the drone, the points will not go through. You will hold on to the drone. Think of it as kind of like a goalie being there. So he goes for the dunk. It was a great little play, but because eUnited do a great job at body blocking, E6 have to settle for the 1.
As they settle for the 1, they've now got drone in hand again. Royalty leading the way. 3 kills in a row for him. General looking for more points off the wall. Wise movement there to get out of the way and ties it up.Maybe he was worried about a pick.
What'd I tell you? I mean, has there been a moment where the drone has been in its base for longer than 20 seconds?
No.
No, there's always a body there. Whether it's eUnited or E6 at this point, they've grabbed it right away and just gone. Royalty with the movement. Woo-wee! Nearly cuts down Pristini. Either way, we've got ourselves a tied game. And look, now they just grab the drone and they're bringing it to their spawn. They will just grab the drone just to have it so they can dictate the pace of the map.
90 seconds left. Who's going to break this tie? Drone right now in Proto's hand. 3 kills go to Enigma6. Map positioning now to their favor as well, but you cut him down before he gets through tarps. That's a massive kill for Arcitys. He doesn't get that. It's likely an easy 1-point toss coming in for Enigma6.
And now look, immediately they grab the drone and look to return the favor towards the side of Enigma6. They haven't put a point on the board since the first minute. They're silly with 1. They've got 1 more player to kill. It will come in, and now it's time for eUnited to try to put more points on the board.
You've got Silly pushing you all the way back in your spawn. He's waiting on the dish. Should come in momentarily. Pass, dunk, 60 seconds remaining. 6-4 advantage right now for eUnited.
And where do they go? Right to lobby. Time to grab the drone again. They want to keep the pressure on. Both of these teams so focused on having the drone and moving it to where they want to force their opponents to react.
With that first touch, it puts Silly only 75 away. How many people are going to die just a kill or two away from streaks? Doesn't get it. Can Enigma6 maybe get some late points on the board? Nice cover from Cade there to make sure Proto stays alive. Backplate assisting in that as well. No one looking top ticket window. Clayster comes up clutch and gets 2, but Drone still active for now. Final player will get killed. No points for E6.
My goodness. This has been one of the most possession-heavy focused uplinks I've casted in Infinite Warfare, where someone just always has the drone. You never see them throw it down and try to outslay and guarantee a dunk. They just want whatever point they can get at the half. It will be 6-4 eUnited as these two teams remain so evenly matched in respawn game modes. The kill difference right now between the two teams, Maven, 0. 0. It is a dead even slaying match right now.
What more can we ask for? It's the 8 best teams in the world fighting for a giant prize pool. We've all been waiting for this, man.
Yep.
I know, it's just, you can tell like the energy just from the casters alone when we're chatting about these matches, how excited we have been, because the matchups are just absolutely fantastic to kick off day 1. Let's see how the second half goes here for Clayster and co.
So the strategy here for the team, this is actually something you rarely see. eUnited send 4 through here. They're just going right away. This is a setup strategy. Their only point tunnel vision. Look at this. This is so smart. This is a team that's well practiced. They recognize that no teams ever do this. They never just try to sprint right on through. That's a free dunk in 20 seconds.
That was amazing.
I mean, why would you ever expect that if you're Enigma6? You send 1 towards statue, 3 to try to kill the players who sprint towards lobby. They get through there instantly, they grab the drone, and they just run right on through. They didn't even need to get kills.
Enigma6, though, trying to get a 1-pointer away. It's picked off. I believe Silly on defense. Clayster finds a couple of kills as well. No more points for E6. But you got to love that opening break from eUnited. That was awesome.
You saw Clayster with the 1.2 plus KD and uplink. He's now at 19 and 12. Unfortunate caster curse there as he does finally die. The second they get 2 kills, E6 grab the drone, and it's time to go yet again back to the eUnited base.
It's Pristini or it's Arcides. One of those guys always getting clutch kills on the drone carrier right as they're about to hit a corner and maybe line up for a 1-point shot. He doesn't cut them down from behind. It's maybe a score for E6. Incredible plays in transition outside of lobby there, but Pristini will end up falling. Drone now for E6. 2 kills have come in. Scarab dropped as well. Cade's got the drone in the back, looking for a much-needed dunk here.
Do they have the dunk?
There it is.
Yes, they do. Okay, so I have to say, right there, we just saw a play from Royalty that I doubt he would have made last year in the CWL. Typically, he would have flown out, looked for the flashy play. There, instead, he lays down, holds an off angle, baits the side of eUnited to push into his AR, gets the kill, and then can be the lead blocker he wants to be for the drone carrier. Gotta commend Royalty on that one. He's definitely continuing to improve and mature as a player.
Only thing I wish he'd stop doing is dying a kill or 2 off of streaks as he falls just a little bit short there yet again.
Look at Arcides. Look at Arcides. Overdrives right into an opponent. There's one huge payload now gone with 3 minutes left.
Silly. Looking to make a play in top ticket. Wraps back and just melts with that hip fire. Holding such a strong position, just waiting on help from his teammates to maybe hit up through mid-street. He's going to have to wrap back as the drone's been taken down towards the apartments. Arcides now, work cut out for him. Somehow Royalty gets the kill there after getting hit with the tack to the face. Royalty picks up drone, trying to get this lead. But unfortunately, as he drops, you've now got an opening for eUnited to counter.
And they're more than fine to bring this drone all the way towards back alley. We saw this earlier this year where Clayster just brought the drone here in one game and they never kind of pushed him. They just always thought he would reset it or go for the portal at some point. Unfortunately for Pristini, just dies in that first engagement there. So 2 minutes left. Enigma6 still within 1 possession. They'll pass it back to Cade, who's got his payload good to go.
Proto, 1 kill here, and he gets his camo. You're only down by a score. We saw the overdrive used for eUnited. Still have it on the side of Enigma6, and there's camo. So you have this to play behind. Proto, just try and stay alive, wait for the help to come, get the pass into his hand, and let him be the playmaker that he is. But that kill comes through, you think, surely this will be points, but they still have 1 behind in lobby that they're worried about.
There it is. Can't stay alive. Royalty's last up. He's already been hit by a tactical. 2 players near him, now dead. 90 seconds left. He's burned 30 off the clock.
And you saw how important lobby control is there. Like, they never felt comfortable. They never felt like they can move forward because they were worried about a pinch, and now they have a chance for points. Clayster's going to go ahead and use his payload. Camo gets popped for Pristini as well. Dunk on through, 4-point advantage, just over a minute to play.
And that 4-point advantage might be the dagger, especially because eUnited will have bodies in towards lobby to at least contest for this drone. Proto's got to remain going huge. Pristini still on this pinch. They're not ready for him at all.
Proto can't die. Proto, he wins that gunfight. That's massive. He has Camo to play with. There's 2 players up on defense. Third just spawned in for eUnited.
Camo right as he moves towards this wall run where it turns the corner.
His 2 teammates drop. He is able to sneak through. Half the Camo left. Needs a dunk. Can he get there? No, it counts as 1. He only gets 1 as they kill him right as he goes to flush through.
I think what wound up happening was he knew he was going to die as the Camo went out. Because they were body blocking, he just threw the drone into the portal, settled for the 1 at that moment. Again, eUnited body block for the 2nd time this game to stop a duck.
Clayster right now 31-19 on a 4 streak. A huge part of the reason eUnited is currently
and it resets in front of General's eyes. That will do it for this map. eUnited led again by Clayster, 33-20. This man continues to impress. We've said it once, we'll say it again. AW Clay is back, and man, he looks better than ever.
He keeps playing like this. It's a retail hardpoint next. eUnited in this series 3-1 if he keeps on gunning.
All right, eUnited, you've got yourself a map count lead. Your only loss so far is a 7-second hardpoint that honestly you threw away in the end. So now, you've got to set back up for game 4. There's a look at Enigma6. They know how close they were on that map. Just a couple questionable decisions, especially in those final couple minutes. And
Clay just needs to continue to impress. You know, I believe it was a 1.38 overall in their wins.
Yep. In
the maps they lost in stage 2, it was something like a 0.96. So he is a playmaker. I mean, when he is performing, they are winning. When he is not, they are losing. I know that can be said for many players, but it's like a 0.43 difference. It's very big when they lose.
We talk a lot about, you know, when's the best time for these teams to turn up. Last year, NB turn up. They have a really bad start to Black Ops 3. Then they win stage 2. They go on to win champs, right? That was a great time for them to begin to be good at Call of Duty again. Yeah. This year, right now, it looks like Clayster is one of those players that's finding his groove right when it matters. I actually mentioned this on Reddit earlier today that we've been playing for 8 months, right? Since the launch of this game. 8 months, $2 million in prizes distributed. Now, in just 14 days, we will have another $2 million in prizes distributed. If you've had a bad year so far, like Clayster and IW with his placings, you can salvage your entire season in just these 2 weeks of play.
Or you could be like Replays, who doesn't compete all year.
And then just comes in,
picks up a controller for a week, and now has a chance to play for $1.5 million. That's a pretty phenomenal story from yesterday, but you see it there at the bottom. Hardpoint on retail coming up next.
Wow.
2-1 lead for eUnited. I think they end it here. And unless General and Royalty just have a game of epic proportions, I think it's done.
I'm looking all at the AR battle on this map. I want to see how General and Royalty can stack up against Arcides and Clayster. That new duo is scary when they are on point. Either way, though, we hope you're enjoying the coverage of the CWL Global Pro League Stage 2 playoffs presented by PS4. Before we get into the hard point, let's look back now at the uplink, though, Maven. Break this one down for me.
Well, you take a look at how tight it was throughout, right? 2 points separating the first half, 1 there in the second. I mean, the guy I would have personally highlighted was Clayster, just because of how big he went off. But you saw the scores coming through what we're looking at here. Arcides with 4, Proto with 6. I know Proto has suffered a little bit in the search and destroy. He has a very nice uplink game there, just not enough to get it done. And I like that. It's unselfish play from Arcides, right? And not a lot of kills, but getting it done with the drone in hand.
I think the big thing they wanted to show here is, maybe if Arcides gets a little bit more involved in the slaying, pulls that weight he needs to on the map for his team, maybe they wind up taking that game a little bit easier. But either way, it was down to the wire. We're just getting one player's controller fixed on up before we get into game number 4. Moving ahead, though, today, up next, we do have Optic Gaming versus Fnatic. Then a rematch of our Stage 1 finals between LG and Splice.
I hope the hard points are anything like we got between that and Anaheim.
Yeah, right? And then you obviously look towards the final match of the day, FaZe and NV2, storied organizations going at it. But before we get this hard point, let's look at our hard point leaderboard, and look who's at the top of that one. It's Clayster from eUnited.
Yeah, I mean, stage 2, you could see all the guys that were going off some crazy statistics here. I mean, the entire LG team is in that top 10, but like you said, at the tippy top, it is Clay. That 1.32, and this is all throughout stage 2.
What's funny is I actually caught up with some of the pro players in the lounge upstairs prior to the series starting. Wanted to hear their thoughts on this and how it'll all play out. I believe Octane said it was going to go to a Game 5. Slasher thought it was going Game 5. Didn't even tell me who was going to win. Karma thought this was going to go to E6. JCap was playing some game on his phone from 4 years ago that isn't even relevant anymore. So I got nothing out of him, but the players that really mattered gave me their answers. And for all of them, it was a close series no matter how you drew it.
Yeah, I think, honestly, the only series I don't see going the distance is probably Optic Fnatic. Is there a chance of that? Certainly. Fnatic could come out and surprise him, but for each one, 4 or 5 games, or I'd be disappointed. You don't see many 3-0s coming out when you have this much talent here competing in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Players now getting all set for this next game. Maven, I'll just ask you straight up. Are we going to a Game 5 to kick off our playoffs?
No, I think it ends here. We just saw, how good. You talked about that tandem, that duo of Clayster and Arcides, and what they were able to do with the ARs in hand. I think it's too much for General to deal with. I don't think there's enough firepower really on the other side. Is Royalty good when he has a K-Bar in hand? Yes, but with that high sense, is he great at long range, like across bridge? No, he's not going to match up with the likes of Clay or Arcides.
All right.
That alone is the reason I'm taking him. I think that tandem is going to destroy here.
I'm ready for this one to get started. You see the map on your screen, Retaliation. One of my favorite maps in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. As now we'll get ready for this top bridge play. The question that I have is there a sniper brought out? Do we see maybe a thermal DMR? Do we see, a KBS longbow ready to try to hit those long shots from range? I think our question has been answered, and that's a hard no.
If anyone was going to do it, it'd be this man. But Clay, maybe saving that one for another day. First kill, Royalty gone. Beautiful shots from Clayster. But it's Cade actually answering back with a 2-piece of his own. Arcides, though, God, nice shots, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, if these two guys are shooting like that,
yep.
How are you going to deal with him on some of these hard points?
And
man?
Look at that, as General's about to get the upper hand on the Clay. He watches over from his teammate Arcides to cut him down. The duo of ARs I talked about, there's a reason I brought them up. They're 4-0 off the break. Bridge is their territory. There are few teams in the game that can contest these guys when their shot is on point from this range.
And it's such a talking point because it's not, yes, Bridge is one hard point, but Bridge is a key spot on the map for multiple hard points. Whether you're transition to the broken building, once you're fighting for Cathedral, it's a key throughout the entire game. And if you're going to continue to have advantage there, look, 3-0 for Arcides, 4-0 for Arcides, Clay 3-1. I don't know. I see it continuing throughout personally.
Well, even with how hot a start they had, this game will be close moving towards this new hard point. Clayster, the only body here for eUnited, should be overwhelmed quite quickly, and you see he got terrible timing onto Proto, who will drop him right there with the challenge from top bedroom.
Let's see what Proto can do as he's set up in lower street, back to bypass, spots one, tags him up, has to dodge a nade. Only 10 bullets left in the clip. Wisely gonna reload before he takes this gunfight in the slide. Nothing you can do about that if you're Arcides.
Nope. And now Cade at 7.
Ooh, all right.
5 streak there, 225 off that Trinity rocket. Gained his health back, and eUnited, they're already starting to give up on this hill.
And how many times have we seen the team that maybe gets streaks early in the game wins the game?
Yep.
All the time. You cannot give them up. Clay has said that's the one thing you cannot do on retail is give up streaks early. It'd be huge to eliminate Cade here. Dude, they cut him down, what, 2 kills away from it? Wasn't able to get it. 3 kills go to eUnited.
Just like the first hill, all things considered, with how good of a setup Enigma6 had, I think eUnited get out of that okay. Down by just 16, they're set up for the new hill. Maybe you're pointing out that they had multiple players already in Cathedral.
Well, it's not going to matter when the first 2 picks go to Enigma6. That means Arcides and company are about to get swarmed. It's a 3-man hit. Arcides has to go huge. I don't know what that nade was for as he just throws it directly at the wall. Pristini tries to get back in on the action, but how quickly were they broken? Yep. That took 5-10 seconds. You can't allow yourself to get picked that early and leave your guys in the hard point with no fighting chance.
And look at Royalty, one-shot challenges Clayster, wins that engagement as well, and buys his teammates enough time to get across the bridge. In a 1v3 scenario, kills all 3 opponents, as Enigma6 will build their lead up to 30.
That's where you like having Royalty, right? Yep. For those short to medium range gunfights, we have to snap from player to player.
He's a playmaker. That's what he is. In situations like that, the guy just knows how to beat people.
Well, Pristini and company battle back through, but they're going to get, what, the final 15 seconds, and now you give up spawns over to the broken building for Enigma6. I believe it's Proto. They need to hit right now. Let's see if they can get there quickly enough. Do they spawn them out lower street or market?
Yes.
Yes, they do. They spawn them all the way out at market, so this is a perfect timing to collapse right now for eUnited. Fantastic play, as it looked very scary, at least for the opening of this hardpoint.
Proto soars on in, some shaky shots, but gets the job done. as the rest of his team is now there. They're going to cut off everyone from eUnited crossing from Bridge 2. Love that play from Royalty alongside General.
It looked really good for United for a moment.
Yep.
They got those 2 kills, spawned 2 out. I thought they had it, but E6 hold.
This map is a perfect example of the philosophy of when you get ahead, get more ahead. And what I mean by that is just keep playing the correct way. Don't try to make a risky, retake with 20 seconds left. No. If you've already got 40 off that hill, give it up. Set up for the next one. Do what E6 are doing. They're slowly building this lead. It was, 20 seconds. Now up to 40. Could go up even further. As eUnited, they fight for this last bit of time. Great. Enigma6 will gladly give this up and set up for top hotel.
And a big part of this is, honestly, when you looked at the players' names in the lobbies, you couldn't have argued with me that Cade was maybe going to look like the best NV4 at times here. I mean, when we've gone to him, man, he has been shooting absolute lasers at the opposition. We'll see if he can continue, as he has the most kills in the lobby right now, but it's back and forth here in Hotel Hallway. Royalty, again, making plays when they need him most. Cut down 2. Third. See you later, Clay. He gets away with his life.
So when we talk about confidence in a player, right, and sometimes people are like, what do the casters even mean? This is what we mean. The man's challenging everything.
He literally went out there to hunt down Clay.
Yeah, he tried to chase the Clay down. Can't maybe say I was a little bit too overeager, but either way, that's what we talk about. Look at how he's playing. The guy's ready to get in any gunfight with anybody on the map. He's confident he could beat them one-on-one.
I thought eUnited would take this one, but I'll tell you what, as the caster, I want a Game 5. So Enigma6, they're doing their best to push it the distance here in our first series of the day. eUnited finally break through, but it's only going to be for these final 10 seconds. They're now down 50 points. Thankfully, they haven't given any streaks up to Enigma6 that I saw.
Yep. That's the key point to bring up. I'm happy you talked about that. This map, no streaks yet for E6. Even with a 50-point lead, absolutely possible for eUnited to come back. They just need a little bit more from Pristini inside this hard point.
Pristini and Silly, now we talked about the other side of this foursome. They need to go big in the gunfights in and around the hard point. Silly setting up camp right now. How much do you love that? If you see a player in the hard point that's spinning a solid 15 seconds without even having to shoot his gun, that means your team's doing something right.
This is the Pristini they need. What did I just say? They need him to turn up, and now the man has their streaks as well. Calls out to his teammate to let him slide on through. He'll earn a couple streaks. 6 kills in a row right there for Pristini, as eUnited will dominate this top bridge hill.
And that's crucial. We talked about the fact that at least you didn't give up streaks to Enigma6. Now you earn some for eUnited, but General just lines up everybody. And as soon as Pristini gets streaks, look, now you have a good opportunity for General. He is able to win it. 50 points now off the Trinity. Can he outdo Pristini? Maybe earn the bombardment as well.
And now this is actually big, because if he kills this player in the hard point, can't get the kill. He should be challenged here momentarily.
He should be dead. How is he? Okay. Finally will fall.
I thought he was going to actually kill Clayster and then FTL jump into the hard point to get fully streaked out.
That would have been sick. Enigma6 still a bit of a lead. We might see a lead change here. His lower streak completely controlled, but at least for Enigma6, you have the spawn. Silly, though, might be able to change this if he can get in behind and make a play in market. He's doing just that. First one there. Second one, FTL behind him. He lost him. General makes a play. If Silly gets both those kills, he might... Oh, he did actually somehow end up forcing a spawn. Look at that. Wow, Silly spawns to the top.
In a 1v1 for the hill, Silly gets the job done. Even though eUnited are narrowly being outslayed, they've just taken the lead. Thankfully, Enigma6 will recover and get the scrap time. And this is an area of key engagements that can decide the rest of this map. These next few gunfights will be a huge swing of points for either team that comes out on top.
That was a huge sequence of events for eUnited. You get the time in lower street, plus you get the spawns. I didn't even see how they got that top spawn. But the fact is, they have it. And now, if they can hold, they can actually put up their biggest lead of the game. Up 8 right now, still multiple players here. It's Arcides, it's Clayster, buddy.
A 4-man push, a 4-man streak right there for eUnited as they wipe E6 off the map. Now look at your scoreboard. A 3 streak from Clay, a bunch of 2 streaks from Silly, Pristini, and Arcides. Finally, Arcides now dead, but the damage has been done. eUnited are set up. E6 are nowhere near the hard point. I mean, look at how far pushed out on your minimap Arcides is. On the bottom side of your minimap, he's already at top plat. They are hunting these players down.
It's unbelievable to think how far out they are when there's like 30 seconds left. Usually that's what it might look like with 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
Halfway through the hard point, they're already taking the fight. Now look, now you pushed out so far, you have a 2-on-2 that you might be able to win here and take control of the next spawn. Arcides wins one inside, but the rest of the kills do go to Enigma6. That was almost back-to-back flawless transitions from eUnited.
Yeah, that's one of the tougher things to do in this game, but here are the streaks we talked about earlier. Do we see the Trinity rocket get brought out? Is it camo time maybe from Pristini? 203 to 160 to score. eUnited do have the lead, but do not count Enigma6 out of this yet at all. Proto just trying to stay alive with this camo in the back of the map. He gets drop shotted by Silly. There's the break eUnited needed, and that moment right there may be the start to the end of E6 in this series.
Remember, you still have, what, a streak for Bristini, I believe, and Silly. Very close to earning a Trinity as well. There's one kill. Needs one more. He spots it, but there's a camo player. He FTLs out, can't find a kill. That camo ends up being huge, if just not to stop streaks for Silly. Bristini now popping his payload. It's a bloodbath in the broken building. But Clayster, the one left standing.
Clayster looked so comfortable in his play style on this eUnited team. He's always there leading slaying. 24-19. Will get shot from behind, but either way, it's a 70-second lead. E60 to be flawless from here on out.
They get the first 2 kills as we set up now for Hotel Hallway. Royalty has reactive to work with. I can't believe he lost that gunfly. That's certainly one I thought he was going to take with the slide forward. 3 kills now for eUnited. Players from Enigma6 coming off a spawn, but General, the lone man here to hold, gets 3 kills. How did General just do that? He may wipe out the entire team, plus he gets the assist.
General is someone that we kind of sleep on with how good his ND4 shot actually is. 238 to 182. R-City's looking to retake this hill by himself. Clayster waiting for the pinch. It's not going to come through. Thankfully, Proto runs right into his sights. eUnited just need 12 seconds. And remember, with those 12 seconds, they've saved this Trinity rocket for this exact moment here. We'll see when Persidi uses it when we get back towards this top bridge.
Yeah, you needed to just be perfect here for your Enigma6. Don't allow any more ticks for eUnited. You've done that, but now you have to deal with streaks. You have to deal with multiple payloads from eUnited. You don't have camo, though, on Pristini. It's going to be the reactive, maybe, of Clayster. That is the biggest difference.
So earlier when we talked about the choke from eUnited, they were trying to retake hills by themselves, you know, in 2v4 scenarios. Even here with the Trinity, they drop this thing down. They've only got one player near this hardpoint. It's Clayster all by himself. He's stuck behind. They have no idea he's here. Clayster's about to play spoiler in this hardpoint, and the boys of E6 have no idea.
Over 240 now. Reactive armor pop, trying to trade the kill back. He's able to do so, but it's still a couple players here up for E6. They just fall. eUnited has done it. 3-1 victory.
Clayster says, let's go. Trust me, there was no word between. As they wind up getting that series done, 3-1. And I'll tell you right now, if you were worried if Clay was only going to play that good in the stage 2 regular matches, he's brought it here to playoffs. This man is lights out.
What a close series. And, you know, big win for eUnited, but on the other side, I think I think it'd be crazy if you don't think E6 is going to make a run in losers. Like, yeah. I know obviously we have the 8 top teams in the world here, but they look very good at times, just not able maybe to go toe-to-toe with eUnited right now.
That was just our first series of 4 today. Congrats again to eUnited. They move right on through to their second match. That we'll see them again tomorrow, so they can still go back. And I'll tell you right now, eUnited, Clayster even mentioned it back when they were talking, when we saw them a few weeks ago play. They've got to watch film, and I think they can absolutely learn a lot from where they kind of stumbled a little bit today, but Clayster, the man, the new addition to this eUnited team, was going off in this series, and he's on the floor with none other than Chris Puckett.
Thank you so much, fellas. That's right, I'm here with Clayster. And Clay, the first thing you said after that match was, should have been a 3-0, but I'll let it slide. Why do you feel that this squad should have just cleaned out excuse me. Why do you feel you should have just 3-0'd them?
You know, on Scorch, you know, it's props to them. They, I think Proto made a really good play at the end. He pinched us after we got the first bloods. They had some really good rotations. I just think we were kind of in control of that for a lot of the time. It's just a few mistakes that we made that if we don't make those mistakes or if we get that one extra kill, we should have won that first map. So in all honesty, it's not that we should have 3-0'd them. It's just that, you know, they made some really, really smart and good plays that ended up winning them the game. And as long as we keep track of that next time, we'll be able to take it.
So talk to me a little bit about the bracket. When you first saw you were matching up against E6, what was the team saying? How confident did you feel in knowing that if you win this match, you're going to be playing the winner of Optic Gaming and Fnatic?
Oh, so we're going to be playing Fnatic? No, I'm just, you know, we look at the bracket, and we're ready for anybody. You know, we played Splice in our pool play weekend twice, and we beat them both times pretty handedly. So they were in the back-to-back grand finals. The only team that we think will give us some trouble this weekend is LG.
LG. And do you think you'll be matching up against them in the winners bracket finals? How far is this team going to go?
Oh, I mean, we're going all the way to the grand finals. We're taking the grand finals, and we're taking home the trophy.
Player to watch from your team other than yourself?
Prestini all day. He's been playing like a monster, but I can't say enough about the other two as well. Alec and Silly have really stepped their game up. You know, Alec is probably one of the best players in the game right now. So to be teaming with the twins and Silly, who's just really stepped up recently, it's a pleasure.
All of you are showing your versatility. Congratulations on a big first match. For now, let's send it back to the desk with Benson.
Thank you very much, Puckett. Great, of course, to hear from Clayster, the new addition there on that eUnited roster. eUnited starting off strong with the 3-1 victory. We'll go ahead and break down that series. Of course, it didn't start off the best for eUnited. They lose the first map, 250 to 243. One thing I do want to touch on, Momo, something that we were very vocal about throughout group stages, was the energy levels of eUnited. It started off very, very low.
Yeah, they kind of had that beginning where E6 just kind of got the first 15, 20 points, and then they got back into it, and that's where I wanted to feel that energy, and I didn't really. I didn't see kind of Clay getting hyped. It took maybe 3 minutes, and as soon as Clay did, so did Arcites. You know,
right.
they kind of came together as one almost, and that's kind of, I think, where they kind of stepped it up. I do agree with Clay. I think they very could have easily kind of closed this one out 3-0, or really taken this first hard point I should talk about. This was a fantastic play from Prestini, a nice 4 kills to set up that turbine as well.
Definitely was, and I think the key really was the Hanger Hill Merc, especially that second rotation.
Yeah, on that second rotation, we saw Silly, he was about 125 off of streaks, and while he was playing that, the rest of his team, well, they were trying to get spawns in the back cave. They did it, you know, 2 or 3 times. That time, well, that's where that 50-point difference comes in, and Hanger and Enigma6 were allowed to hold 60 points. A great job out of them. You know, that's really the difference maker on this Scorch hardpoint.
I think one of the interesting things when we talk about Proto as an individual on that map, Teep, he basically won E6 the game, then almost lost E6 the game in the space of 60 seconds.
He had a great game overall, but that camo on mid-hill, you can't use that payload ability there. How many times throughout this year have we seen that sort of camo versus camo battle, whether it be at Turbine over towards Hanger? That Turbine, I think the reason they lost it is Prestini had that ability in the back pocket, really easily able to break that one, and that really let the score get away from them. I think E6 could have closed that game out way, way easier, and the fact that Proto, you know, he did get those 2 pieces of drill to really get them a lot of time there, but those bonehead plays, that shouldn't have even gone to the Hanger, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, but that was the general that we expect to play, right? I mean, he's sort of been sagging off a little bit. Royalty obviously played very well, but that's the general we expect. He played at a top level in this map, number 1.
Very true. E6 start off 1-0. Then we go to the Search and Destroy. Of course, it's Breakout. And eUnited just kind of stamped their authority all over that map. They take it 6-2. And you talk about the first 2 rounds, man. It was the perfect start for United.
It really was. I do think, again, and I've talked a little bit throughout the stage, that sniper kind of pick, I think it was from Cade. It left them vulnerable in round number 1 with a pistol, almost a 3v4. But that round 2 was beautiful. That defuse and distract coming in from Arcites, who defused that bomb. I think Silly was sliding around, picking him up. Very, very smart. But we do see, obviously, them get back into it, level things up. But other than that, eUnited really showing their dominance in S&D.
Very true indeed. Of course, in terms of the overall scoreline, 6-2, it just felt as if E6 didn't really adapt. They seem to be struggling a little bit.
Not at all. Clay got way too many kills for free at that middle of the map. He picked off Cade once. You saw a kill on the General right there. And then Proto on the other side. These were the 2 players on either side of the map that really swung it for me. Clay played that consistent style at middle map. Seemed like E6 just didn't really know what to do about it. They should have switched it up. And then Proto, several bad challenges. I think you saw Prestini earlier in that replay just completely turn and burn on him. And just challenging that far away with an ERAD is just not very smart.
And one thing to note, obviously, you guys have been preaching about it all throughout the year. You know, hopping on bombs, etc., defusing the bomb. I mean, this was a case that early round. How they managed to win that. How E6 won that round. Royalty finds a credible 2-piece smoke. I feel like that was the one really mistake, I guess, from United in this situation.
Oh, what? It's a 4v2 situation. You have the bomb down. I mean, that happened with about 15 seconds left. So all really someone needs to do is hit that wall run, just check it. And I'm pretty sure we heard somebody say, hey, they're on it. And I think that sort of caused a mass chaos in which they all challenged, and that was really the issue. So just a communication thing, but a beautiful search and destroy overall from eUnited. Enigma6, on the other hand, as Teep said, they just did not adapt at all. You know, eUnited, they hit B-bomb on offense every single time. If you're in Enigma6, either 4-hit that, you have a 4v3, or you 4-hit Clayster. I mean, there's an easy pick right there, just not enough adjustments out of Enigma6.
Definitely true. Of course, series now tied at 1-1. We head over to Uplink on Precinct. And this was actually an extremely close game. It was funny because Teep actually said, yeah, this is going to finish 10-7. But your prediction, absolutely correct. eUnited,
little lucky.
10-7. Pure skill, Teep, pure skill. E6, it just felt as if they were just making those mistakes at crucial times. I mean, mean, they could have spawn trapped several times and they weren't able to do it, team.
The difference maker is E6 did not really, stick the nail in the coffin in that first half. When you set up that gas spawn trap on either side, or the spawn trap on either side, to be honest, your first player can't die that quickly. And that's how you're able to set up the relays. eUnited was able to do it on the flip side, and that's how they got that lead. And a lead in Uplink is just so darn important. And then Persini has this camo ability. Everything just starts to get away from you when you don't have that lead. So E6, if they go back and watch that VOD and how they screwed up the spawn traps on both sides of the map, they're really going to be just mad at themselves, really.
Completely agree. And there was some solid defensive plays as well from eUnited. Definitely a key to success there, Merc.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think you saw Arcides 3 to 4 times pick off ones, and then on the other side, you just have to talk about the break-off plays. I mean, that led to 2 scores for eUnited. They hit that dunk without even the guy getting shot. I just think E6, I don't know if it was eUnited just doing their homework, finding that Enigma6 break-off, but a great job by them. If you're Enigma6, you're probably pretty mad you lost that one. Right. I felt like they slayed well. Everybody was playing great. Just the execution on the defensive end.
Obviously, we saw Arcides stats there for eUnited. You actually heard the casters as well say, yeah, it's all good and well. We see Arcides there, but it probably should have been Clay. Clay finishes 33 and 21. A 1.57 KD in Uplink, Momo. The man seems unstoppable. He's making this game type his.
He's had a great, obviously, week during his pool play. He's fantastic, obviously, coming into this. And the one thing I will say, for the 99.9% of that, except the last second where Silly got a couple of kills, he was positive 12, he finished. Every other player on his team was negative, and that just kind of shows how important Clay is to this roster and what he is doing to change that kind of game. And they were already a very good Uplink team, but I think the addition of Clay has actually made them a little bit better as well. That hype that he brings, that energy, and you finish with a positive 12. Fantastic stuff all around.
And obviously, you speak about the energy. Moving into game number 4 at this point, eUnited, of course, with a 2-1 lead. We go over to hardpoint retail. eUnited take it 250 to 211. And it was polar different from map number 1, remember. Their energy levels were high straight off the bat. You heard Clay getting loud, Arcee's getting loud as well.
They're 2-1 up. They're going into this knowing that this secures them, obviously, that semi-final. And straight away, Clay is getting that hype. But as well, I don't feel like Clay needs to get hyped to get these other guys hyped anymore. Arcee's just seems like he's just very, very comfortable. It's like he's just hanging around with his pals. He's chilling. And you know what? It's showing in their gameplay.
It most definitely is. One of the key things to really touch on, though, this game was so close, Steve. So close, 250 to 211. And E6 blew 3 different sets of streaks at 3 different times throughout this map.
3 different players, 3 different streaks. They're about, whether it's 25 points away, 100 points away, all they need is a hardpoint cap, a kill, really anything. It just didn't seem like throughout this entire series, not just this hardpoint, E6 just doesn't really have that composure of when to slow it down, when to not challenge that gunfight, when to focus on the rotation and really kind of bait your team a little bit to get those streaks. We saw Persini was able to do it and didn't have to use that Trinity, saved it all the way to the end, and that's just great gameplay overall. It's a great mindset to have. E6 just kind of outclassed in the mental game, in my opinion.
And credit where credit is due, Merc. eUnited's just play style of hardpoint is almost flawless.
Oh, I mean, they made the right decisions, I will say. Well, first, let's look at this. Clayster, a 1.27, plus 21 in that series. Another great performance. But yeah, going back to the hardpoint, I mean, the first half, Enigma6 had full control. It was like a 131 to 80 lead. They have it a 50-point lead. But that second half, you can just see the decision-making. Not only do they control lower plat, they decide to head over towards Cathedral. They get that break. They hold that full 60. Then they go over to Broken. They're able to break that as well. Enigma6, they just weren't able to hold. And that was really the difference maker. And when you play that way, it allows your teammates to go on streaks. You saw Silly go on a 5 streak. Then Pristini, Arcides, everybody starts to pick it up. When you play the correct way, kills come to you. It makes the game easier for everyone.
Congratulations, of course, to eUnited kicking things off well with that first win. They now progress through to winners bracket round number 2. Of course, still plenty of action here at the Stage 2 playoffs still to come. But we are just a few weeks away now from the biggest event of the year, Call of Duty World Championship, August 9th through 13th in Orlando, Florida. You can purchase your tickets right now at mlg.tv/CWL Champs. Trust me, if there's one event you do not want to miss each year, it is the World Championship. It is a fantastic one, so much money on the line, and I mean, you can see what it means to the players, the emotion levels, when you actually get to the event as well. It truly is a fantastic one. But moving forward, of course, the next match we are going to see here at the Stage 2 playoffs, Uplink Gaming versus Fnatic. Murky said it was going to be a 27-minute series.
Yeah, well, we have some commercial breaks. It could be a little bit long, but I think everybody just expects Optic Gaming to just wipe the floor with Fnatic. I mean, Fnatic, they are a team who we've seen some spotlight from the Twins, and again, Tommy, Sunny, I feel like those two, it really relies on their hands.
Here's the question that I am curious to get your opinions on. All 3 of you, you've all played at the highest level. You all know what it's like to compete. You're going in heavily favored if you're Optic Gaming. and Optic Gaming traditionally tend to struggle winners bracket round 1. That is kind of their struggle time in any tournament. Is it maybe they could sleep on Fnatic? Is that a possibility? Do you think that they get the draw that pretty much any number 1 seed wanted?
Well, we're talking winners round 1 against Luminosity, winners round 1 against Envy last year at COD Champs, winners round 1 against Denial Esports at COD Champs with Clayster and Attach. It's a little bit different.
This is true.
In terms of overall skill, I just don't believe Fnatic have it.
Fair enough. Could they potentially sleep on them though? Is that any?
I think Optic have learned in their past and kind of, the past couple of months, they can't sleep on anyone, and I think that's shown in the fact that they have lost hardpoints. Hardpoint was their weakness. For Fnatic, they've kind of got to go into this thinking, you know what, no one thinks we can win. If we steal the first hardpoint, we're a good S&D team. Yes, I know Optic are a fantastically, ridiculously good S&D team. But
100% Phil.
Anything can happen with Call of Duty on the day. Anything can happen.
There you go.
But yes, you're facing the green wall. Odds are against you. Good luck. Have fun. Cross your fingers.
I know all three of you think it's going to be a 3-0 in favor of Optic Gaming. It's very, very hard to break down. I mean, we'll take a look at the maps. As I mentioned earlier on in the pre-show, maps are going to be the same for all of our winners bracket round 1 matchups. I mean, Scorch, Hardpoint, Breakout, S&D, Precinct, Uplink, Merc.
I mean, the one thing to me is these first 2 maps, okay, maybe Fnatic has something special for Breakout, Search and Destroy. Scorch is the one map where if Optic do come out slow, Fnatic can get to a very, very high lead and it'll be hard to come back. But I just think that backside, Precinct, Retaliation, Throwback, those are some of Optic's best maps. I just don't see Fnatic winning this series at all.
We see Optic struggle against high SMG close quarter pressure against teams. Do you see Sunny B? Do you see someone like Tommy really competing in that regard, especially when we saw, I like to call him the quote-unquote new scump that we saw in the group, one of the best performances I've seen from a weekend from Seth in a long time. I just think all things pointing towards Optic Gaming. Fnatic doesn't have the pieces that we've seen Optic Gaming struggle with in some of the previous series this year. It's clear-cut for me.
Well, the first game of the day is now in the books here at the Stage 2 playoffs of the Call of Duty Global Pro League presented by PlayStation 4. eUnited and their new edition of Clayster started off very, very strong, continuing where they left off from group play with the 3-1 victory. They progress now to winners bracket round number 2. Up next on the main stage live here from Columbus, Ohio, Optic Gaming versus Fnatic.